the first artificial Earth satellite, and the first cosmonaut Laika. How it all started. Interesting facts right now. Subscribe so you don't miss new historical videos. The first Soviet satellite, the first artificial satellite of the Earth, was called Sputnik 1. It was a ball with a diameter of 58 centimeters and a weight of 83.5 kilograms. 2 radio transmitters and a power source were inside. Sputnik 1 was launched into orbit on October 4, 1957 from the Baikonur Space Center, which was then called the 5th Scientific Research Site of the Ministry of Defense of the USSR Tyuratom. Laika, cosmonaut dog, the first animal to orbit the Earth. It was launched into space on November 3, 1957 at 6:30 in the morning Moscow time on the Soviet ship Sputnik 2. At the time, Laika was about 3 years old. The launch of the first satellite caused a worldwide resonance. The satellite successfully entered orbit and became functional the first time, so there was a duplicate rocket ready for launch. Thus, there was an opportunity to build on the success with a more extensive scientific program, and it was important to do it by the 40th anniversary of the October Socialist Revolution. The decree to launch a satellite with a bioobject on board was passed on October 11, 1957. And the second satellite was being assembled on an emergency basis. The dog Laika was adopted from a pet shelter. The dog's real name was Kudryavka, but the staff renamed her Laika because of her sonorous barking. Age 1, 5 years, weight 6 kilograms 700 g, white coat with large black and dark yellow spots. During the selection of dogs, individual resistance to vibration and overloads was studied. The animals were accustomed to taking food from a feeding machine, to wearing sensors, fixing clothes, an assimilation device, to staying in small volume cabins. At the last stage, the dogs were trained for a long time in a mock-up of the container of the second Earth satellite. A careful selection of all the animals, pioneers of space routes, who would eventually pave the way for human space flight, was carried out. Laika, Albina and Muka were selected from 10 dogs that had undergone all kinds of training, but it was decided to send Laika on the flight. Before the flight, Laika underwent surgery, during which she was fitted with breathing sensors on her ribs and a pulse sensor near her carotid artery. Unfortunately, everyone realized that it would be a one-way flight. The satellite cabin contained a feeding apparatus and an air regeneration device designed for 7 days. The design did not provide for Laika's return to Earth. During takeoff, the dog was subjected to enormous overloads. He was crushed inside the container, but he was able to bear the strain. Laika died of overheating after 4 revolutions around the Earth, but her flight proved that a living creature can survive the launch into orbit and weightlessness. This allowed scientists and designers to begin preparations for a space flight of a ship with a human on board. Laika is forever etched in the history of space exploration. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and put the bell to not miss the continuation of the story about the first flights into space.